All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Hand Sports Show. It's Saturday, a little bit after 4 o'clock in the New York, New Jersey area. My name is Lou Tenor, and I welcome those once again. Remember, the number to call is 512-543-4662. Repeat again, 512-543-4662. And we'll be here just until before 6 o'clock when Rizal McGee takes over his fine show, which runs from 6 to 7 on Saturday nights. Don't forget Kevin Dixon, 7 to 9 Monday nights, except for football season when it's 6 to 8. And when Betty's new show begins, 6 to 7:30 or 6:30 to 8. When that happens. No official date yet, but as soon as we know, we'll let you know. All right, so we'll bring in my callers right now. Steve Davidson, are you there? Steve Kent. All right, let me just check and see if this is going to be an actual call. Miriam, are you there? I'll take it as a yes. All right, guys. So, all right. I know everybody's thinking from what I said last week about the Rangers, like it was going to be a shoe in. It was going to be, a guaranteed win. Okay. I'll admit I was wrong. First off, I mean, when the injuries started piling up with the second period of Game 6, I think I knew we were in trouble. And unfortunately, the Panthers were able to take advantage of that. But you got to admit, though, it was a very tight series, which I kind of expected the whole way through, of course. You had the two best goaltenders. And, out of the 6 games, 4 of those games were decided by one goal, which I've also kind of expected as well. I mean, you can't go into a series, with the two best goaltenders and thinking you're going to have, a high scoring affair in every game. I mean, that was not going to be the case. All right, but when the injuries, of course, start piling up, then you know you're in trouble because you can't win. If you have your team is becoming, bombarded with injuries, shoulder wise or whatever the case may be. That's just how it's done. People, you have to be able to, stay healthy when it comes to the postseason, especially when it comes to the postseason. Otherwise, it's not going to be, um, the result that you're looking for. Don't I know it? So after easily being the Capitals and the Hurricanes and won the President's Trophy, they ran into a buzzsaw at the conference finals for the second time in 3 years. Now, what Jacob Trouba said that we felt we bonded together, but it was too soon to elaborate on that. Trouba came through under fire for after his performance in Game 6, and boy, did he ever. As the defenseman, this was the big mishap right here. The defenseman misread a play at the team's blue line, and that allowed Sam Bennett, who was a dangerous player, to get the first goal of the game, of Game 6, that is. I mean, he is a dangerous player. Make no mistake about that. Yuck. It was his 4th goal of the series, that time with Matthew Tkachuk, Keith's boy, for most goals in a conference final, and that in team history, and his 3-goal goal streak also tie a record. Trouba's slow reaction contributed to the Rangers falling in a hole early that just could not be able to climb out of. Vladimir Tarasenko scored his first goal of the series to give them a 2-0 lead. And after that, I was like, okay, it's late in the game now. Time is running out, and I think I have to go throw up, which I almost did. Or maybe not literally speaking, but you get the idea. I'm sure a lot of people were thinking that, though. I mean, might just be. Miriam, you have anything to say about that? Well, thankfully somebody does. Okay, that's you did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, even when that happened, I was not really thrilled. Like, yeah, okay, you scored, but you only got like a minute and a half left. I mean, I don't know how much left you got in you. I mean, the Rangers, offense just looked flat in that game, and when the injury, happened in Game 6 early on, that's a little bit tough to come back from, especially in a road game. So that's happened there. by the time Panarin did score to make it 2-1, the Rangers have already pulled Igor out of it. And as the old saying goes, too little, too late for the Rangers who failed when it mattered the most. It wasn't only just Panarin. Mika Zibanejad did not score as well against the Panthers. Chris Kreider, who did pull up a shorthanded goal, only had 3 shots in Game 6 after scoring that shorthanded goal in Game 3, which looked like the momentum for the Rangers, but I was certainly fooled. And while Panarin broke through, eventually his line with Vincent Trocheck was silenced by the Panthers all night. And it pretty much was. So you probably weren't going to get much more result from there. So once again, that contributes to the President's Trophy curse, as I like to call it, because nobody has won that. Well, it's been quite a long time since we had a President's Trophy winner win the Stanley Cup. It does not happen that often. Another team just ran out of gas, folks. Again. So, but I was reading something earlier that came up here because we went in the same situation 7 years ago when we had Henrik Lundqvist, the Igor before Igor, that is, when they lost to the Senators. And there was talk about the core players being dismantled. But this time they said after the Tuesday end of the press conference, they said, no, that's not going to be the case. Even though they lost in 6 games to the Panthers, which I think I can believe. Chris Kreider, who played in 5 conference finals since he joined the Blue Shirts in 2012, asked if the Rangers have the key ingredients to win their first cup since 1994, that long ago. Ugh. So when he replied, yes, it's very fresh and disappointing, but we had a very good year. Yeah, you did, but you came out short in the end when it mattered. Ugh. The Rangers set records in wins and points in the President's Trophy, having the best regular season record. I guess you can say that this year's Rangers were last year's Boston Bruins. And no offense, Steve, of course. No offense. But I think, well, it's the same situation, really. Yeah. Hmm. You need that. Mostly the grit. And yeah, well, we had that both together. But like I'm saying, it's kind of the same similar situation because the Rangers set all the records. They have 55 wins. They had 114 points, and everybody was betting on the Rangers to win the series. Of course, I did too. The Bruins were the same situation last year. They set a record for most points, most victories, and they were like a shoe-in to win the Stanley Cup. But then injuries piled up in the playoffs, and they fell flat. So I kind of think in terms of that, the Rangers this year were kind of like the way the Bruins were last year. Okay, maybe you think different, but that's the way I was looking at it. I'm like, deja vu happened all over again. So, oh, yes, yes, uh, yes, yeah, right, right. Yeah, I think too that maybe if they would just with one game with Jonathan Quick instead of keep going Igor, maybe they would have had a chance maybe to win maybe game 5 or game 6. But you kept on, forcing Shesterkin to play. I think maybe you would have switched it up. That might give a chance, because Quick could be a fresh skate and Shesterkin I think was looking a little tired. So I think it's also a bad decision by the Rangers coach, to keep Shesterkin in. Yeah. Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. In other words, what were you thinking? Or then again, were you thinking at all? Okay, Diana's here, I think. Diana, if you're there, sound off. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. All right. So, does anyone else have any thoughts on the Rangers' collapse? Be kind, like your Capitals. Yeah. You mean Sam Reinhart of the Panthers? Yeah. Yeesh. You know that guy kind of worried me. He is too. He is. All right. Okay. Before I go on with that, let's wrap up a few. Just a few more notes here. Now, the Panthers were very effective on special teams as well, and they limited. Okay, hold on. Okay, Capitals were limited. They limited the Rangers in power play because they only gave them one power play goal and 15 chances, so they were very effective on that. Panarin says they were a tough team to play against. Isn't that the truth? The Rangers have been hit by injuries such as Drake Trouba playing after coming from a broken ankle last month. Okay, strike one. Defenseman Ryan Lindgren, he suffered a cracked rib in Game 6. Strike two. That's another minus. But played through the injury, which I don't think was a smart move to do. Because if you're playing injured, no, it's just going to make it worse for you. So I know it was an important game, but there are times when if you're, especially with a rib injury, I don't know how you can go on playing with that, even at this stage of the season. Ugh. And Jimmy Vesey said he suffered a shoulder injury and missed the last 4 games. Okay, there you go. You got 3 big injuries from 3 great players, and you were kind of short-handed. So it's no wonder you lost because injuries can hurt a team, especially this time of year. Because, as I said, at this time of the year, when it matters most, you've got to stay healthy, otherwise you're sunk. Adam Fox, who only had 8 assists, uh, supposedly said confidence will be key in winning the cup next season. Oh, I agree with that very much. All right, someone else was trying to say something. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. So, anyone else have any thoughts? Oops. Oh, we were discussing the collapse of the New York Rangers, much to my dismay. Look, don't worry. We'll get to basketball soon. All right. We will. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the yes, this is the person who discovered me 8 years ago, and I thank her for giving me a chance to do this show. For those of you who don't know, it's Betty Cantley. Betty, it's so nice to have you back on. And my mentor, and Matthew's here. All right, so now, ooh, well, I get that too this time. Too. That concludes our medical report for the show. Okay, now, okay, for those of you who are true hockey fans like me, I don't really know what to make of this series, to be honest with you, because judging from what happened with the Panthers, who kept the Rangers, so we say, on a leash with lowest scoring opportunities, and Oilers, they don't really strike me as a scoring machine. I'm not looking to be, I'm not looking to be a high scoring series. Everybody, I think there's going to be low scoring, a lot of defense, a lot of should we say multiple overtime games too. I'm not really looking this to be, uh, you know, much like 6-5 or uh, 7-5 or whatever, high scoring affair. I think it's going to be a very tight series, and it's going to be really tough to have goals scored against both teams here. So we'll start with Steve Kent. What do you make of the series between Panthers and Oilers, and what do you think the outcome is going to be? Hell yeah, they should. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, no question. No question. Ah, yep. If okay, well, if Draisaitl and McDavid, the NHL's Wonder Boy, can stay in their game, maybe they will have a shot. But you're going up against um, Barkov and Reinhardt, which is a good goal scorer too. So I got to factor in that as well. Steve Davidson, your thoughts? Yes, you do. Five. I don't know about home. Well, we'll see about home ice advantage. I don't know if I believe it. That's kind of like a superstition, I think. All right. Diane, how many games? Dana, hockey. We'll get to basketball in a minute. Matthew, seven. Benny, if you had to make a choice, heads or tails, who would you take? All right. Okay, so put it this way: heads is Florida, tails is Edmonton. I should have done it that way. Florida, how many games? It's got to go at least four because the best of seven, so it can't be three. A sweep. Oh, all right. Well, speaking of sweeps, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit worried about with the Mavericks and the with this with Mavericks and the Celtics. The way they have dominated all year, of course, you know, and the way that the Celtics have just dominated in game one over the Mavericks in a miserable game one. I don't know how they can hold up. I mean, I really don't. I mean, this was, an embarrassing game. I mean, they led almost right from the get go. I mean, Dallas took a little bit of an early lead in the first quarter, but once the Celtics got rolling. That was it, and it made it like to a no contest. So this kind of worries me. If Boston has the same outing as they did on Thursday night, I think this is going to be a very short series, and you know it'll be lucky. Dallas will be lucky if they can get a fifth game. But the way I see it right now, I mean, it was just a slaughterhouse. You know, by the time they got to like the second quarter. So here's how it went. On a night where they honored the late Bill Walton, the Celtics took a major step in claiming their 18th championship. And with the return of Kristaps Porzingis, that only made it even more dominant for the Celtics. Yuck. Yeah, the former Knick player, traitor. Okay. Playing his first game more than 5 weeks due to calf strain, Porzingis, or as I say for you Big Bang Theory fans out there, Porzingis, scored 20 points and 6 rebounds and 3 blocks in a good old-fashioned romp of 107-89. Yuck. But I'll tell you right now, I thought it was going to happen. No question. I thought it was going to happen. I was right. I wish I wasn't, but I was. So it was the first game back since the injury, and it did against some of his former teammates. Ugh, it's even worse. Kristaps gave a monster game, said Jaylen Brown, just his presence along the ball, and being able to attack those switches and mismatches, he made them pay for it every time. And that's what we need to get going in this series. Porzingis' stats have been dominant to start starting for the past 10 days between the end of the conference finals and the sweep of the Pacers and the start of the finals. He has not played since game 4 of the first round against the Heat. But the thing is, though, that they've been dominant so much without him. So now with him back in the lineup, that can only make him even stronger. They went 10-1 in these playoffs without Porzingis. And in most cases, they crushed their opponents. So I don't see any reason how this can be any different. So he returned from practice about a week ago. While he confirmed on media day last Wednesday, he was not sure what his conditioning level would be. Yeah, sure. He played in a game. Then things got interesting. About a half hour before tip-off, it was announced that Big Al Horford would start and Porzingis would come off the bench. Yeah, Big Al. But with 10 minutes on the three-game clock and most of the Celtics were on the court warming up, Porzingis was shown on the Jumbotron warming up and got a giant ovation from the crowd. So all we could say to Dallas Mavericks fans is, surprise! Oh boy. If there was any doubt how Porzingis would look after the game, that quickly changed once he checked in the game with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Walton, who won the Sixth Man of the Year award when the Celtics won back in 1986. I was a freshman in high school that year. I think obviously helped me just even from the walkout before the game and getting onto the court. Getting that kind of support was unreal. Porzingis said in front of the raucous crowd. The adrenaline was pumping through my veins, of course. Obviously, it was not ideal that I was out for so long. I did everything I could prepare mentally for this moment coming back, and it got the job done. Mm-hmm. So he put on his shooting clothes in the first quarter. He scored his first points after drawing a foul from former teammate Luka Doncic, posting up an elbow, then hit a jumper from nearly that same spot. That started the Celtics jumpstart and outscored the Mavericks 25-9 for the rest of the quarter. After Porzingis checked in, they never trailed after that. So right then and there, you knew that Dallas was in trouble. Porzingis finished the quarter with 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, one in space against his other former teammate, Kyrie Irving, who only scored 12 points on a weak 6 for 19 shooting. The Celtics also dominated from the three-point line, 16 for 42, outscored the Mavericks by 27 from the arc. The Mavericks only shot 7 for 27 from three-point range. Ugh. But Luka did have a decent night with 30 points and 10 rebounds, but he only had 1 assist. Only 8 assists, 11 turnovers in the loss. So, what do you think, guys? Do you think I might be right? Do you think that Dallas does have a chance? Or do we say good night, Charlie? One. Well, it was only one game right now. The next game is tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, which reminds me, I'm going to run down the schedule of the games so that we can keep track. So we'll take care of it like this, just in case if anybody's wondering, when's the next game or everything. So I'm going to run down the schedule so we don't get confused. We'll start with the NHL. Okay. All right. Follow along, guys. All right. So game one of the NHL finals is tonight. Game two is Monday night. By the way, all games are on 8 o'clock and they're on ABC this year. Thank goodness. Monday is game two. Then we jump to game three, which won't be played on Thursday night for obvious reasons because Wednesday is the NBA night and we don't want to kill it. So that goes up to game four. Wait. But now the rest of it, I hate when they do this because they don't give you all the games. Just so you have the first three. Okay, here we go. I hate when they do this. Anywho, the final schedule will go like this. It takes me a while to scroll down here, guys. But so far, we have the first three games for tonight, Monday, and Thursday. So far, I believe Game 4 is going to be next Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Game 4 is Saturday. Then I think Game 5 would be next Tuesday. Then Game 6 would be Thursday, and Game 7 would be on Saturday. But I could be wrong on that. But still, you might want to check that. But that's the way I think it looks so far. Yeah. So just to be sure on that. But check your paper, of course, if you need to, because. Okay. Here we go. Now we got it. All right. So as I said, I got the first three games. Game 4 is June 15th, a week from now. Game 5 would be Tuesday on the 18th. Wow. Then Game 6 will be on the 21st, and Game 7 is 21st. So after this, after the 13th, after the 15th, the next three games, the last three games, we play 3 days apart. That's going to be a lot of wear and tear on your body, that's for sure. Wow. But then again, of course, we don't want to clash with the NBA, right? Right. That's why. And for some reason, the NHL was a week late this year. Usually, the NHL finals are first before the NBA finals by about 2 days apart. Go figure. On second thought, why wrap your head around it? It might just give you a headache anyway. All right, so now for the NBA schedule for the finals. By the way, the turnout for the Rangers is kind of low. Under 11 million people were watching that. I guess they weren't so thrilled about this lineup. All right, so we had game one Thursday, game two tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Wednesday, game 3. Thursday is game 4. That's so far. So I believe. No. Like I said, it's. Well, let's go over this again. Okay. Game 1 was Thursday. Game 2 tomorrow. Game 3 is June 12th. Game 4 June 14th. Same night the Rangers won the cup. Game 5 June 17th. Game 6 June 20th, if necessary, of course. And the final would be Game 7 on June 23rd, if needed. The Sunday night games will be played at 8:30. 8 o'clock rather. All right. So now that we're all caught up with that. Okay, so now we'll move on to other news in the sports world. But does anybody think that still does Dallas have a chance? All right. And Nick, yes, yes, yeah. Okay. So moving on. Former NBA guard, Delonte West was arrested and jailed in Virginia uh, on Thursday after misdemeanor charges of violating the conditions of his release and resisting an arrest, according to local authorities. Oh boy. He was being held at Fairfax County Detention on a $2,000 bond, where he was scheduled for a hearing yesterday. Fairfax County Police uh, arrested West around 1 a.m. in Groverton, West Virginia, and was sought to serve a warrant. Police said a pursuit ended when officers found him not responsive and losing sight of him during the chase. Oof. A narcotic called Narcan, which can be used to treat narcotics overdoses in emergency, was initially administered to West and did not have the desired effect, according to police statement. West then was transported to a local hospital, and Narcan worked after being administered a second time. Police said West was released from the hospital, and then transported to the Fairfax County Detention Center. So I think we got our first idiot of the week right there, Steve. West, oh, I was just gonna guess, yes, yeah, right, exactly, yes, yeah. He has bipolar disorder, and he was treated for drug rehab in 2021, and ended up working at the facility after Mark Cuban helped him get back his life on track. And yet you had this happen to you. Jeez. Cuban, who picked up gas stations in turn 2020 after pictures circulated, was panhandling at an intersection in Dallas. Oof, was one of several people in the NBA who helped pick up West at the time, and yet he goes into this mess. So he's been a journeyman, I think, for the NBA. Let's put it this way: he played for the Celtics, the then called Supersonics, now the Thunder, Cavaliers, and Mavericks, and last played in the 2011-2012 season. It's just a shame, though, that someone who had such a great career like that, is now fallen by the wayside of that. But I wish but it shouldn't have come to that, though. A very very sad statement. That's right, right. Oh, yes, yes. All right, the Lakers might have a new coach, and it's if you're a college basketball fan, does his name Dan Hurley ring a bell? Yes, yes. Dana, you know who Dan Hurley is? I, oh, that's right. You're not. That's right. You're not a Duke fan. I forgot. Uh-huh. So anyway, he could be the franchise's next head coach, and the Lakers are preparing to offer him a huge, and I mean a huge, massive long-term deal to bring the back-to-back. Hold on, Diane. Uh, Back-to-back national champion coach to the Lakers. The Lakers have had contact with Hurley on both sides. Are planning to continue the discussions. In fact, I think they were having a meeting yesterday, but I've heard nothing since then. Certainly, has been that Hurley has been the forefront of the Lakers coaching search from the beginning of the process, and even the organization has done its due diligence in interviewing several other candidates. Lakers Vice President and General Manager Rob Pelinka and Governor Jeannie Buss are eager to informally discuss Hurley with their vision of marrying his dominant program, but upon his tactic and elite player development with the story Laker brand. So I'm going to go with Steve Kenny here. What do you think with Hurley coming to the Lakers, and maybe they can bring him back to glory? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Right. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. I heard. That could be one too. I heard a rumor. Yeah, yeah. There was a rumor of Coach K, but I don't see it happening. That Alex, he might. Yeah. No, it's not official. It's not official. Maybe by the time the show is over, maybe, but right now, no. Yeah. Well, if they're preparing for a massive contract, I don't think I would say no to it either. Yeah. Yes. We could say massive. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. I got some interesting hockey news about the new Seattle franchise. They've narrowed the field down to to six names, and here's the list of names. Before it begins next season. The remaining six are the Blizzard, the Yeti, Mammoth, Outlaws, Venom, and the Blizzard. I know these are all kind of weird names. I think I want to rule out UHC. That doesn't really impress me with the name. That's kind of like a boring name, to be honest with you. But I think I like the Blizzard. I think Blizzard or Outlaws. I think would be a better name for that. The finalists were selected by a group of first round fan voting. Uh, Said after Thursday's news release, 52,000 voters came through. The wave more than 60% of them, landing the top six teams. Fans can continue to vote up to June 20th. The team's jerseys will wear Utah in big bold capital letters scrolled across the front that represent the club's new roots in the state and dedication to the new fan base. When the name was depicted, SEG will create a new logo and mascot and branding to match that will appear on the sweaters for the 2025-2026 season. The Smith Entertainment Group, inheriting the Coyotes, were relocated to Utah in April. The Coyotes were not able to find a permanent area to play in the near future, and the NHL had to buy the franchise and had to resell it to Ryan Smith, who also owns the Utah Jazz. So yes, the Utah Jazz and the Utah, whatever the team name will be, will have to share the same arena. Oh boy, people are not gonna like that. I mean, it's been I know the Rangers and Knicks do it and whatnot. The Devils and Nets did it for a brief time in Newark, and the Nets moved out. So I don't know how fans are gonna feel about that, but that's how it's done. But it doesn't look as if it'd be a permanent home for the hockey team. They might get a new arena, down the road. So the Utah hockey team will be playing its first season at the Delta Arena, and move over, Jazz. You got company. Yeah. So I'm going with the Blizzard. Anybody else have a comment on what the new name want to be? The Yeti. And of course, Well, of course, we all know a name by yeah. Well, of course, we all know a name by another name for a Yeti, and that would be known as you. Thank you. I didn't think you guys were gonna get it. I didn't think you guys were gonna get that. Very good. Wow. Yeah. Madonna, little snowman. Yeah. Hey, I found something interesting before we're into hockey here. Listen to this, guys. All right. The first time mm, yeah. Well, it fits Utah perfectly because they get a lot of snow, so it does fit them perfectly. Yeah. So I found something interesting concerning the Stanley Cup here. Now listen to this, guys. You might find this very interesting. The Stanley Cup will be broadcast in American Sign Language for the first time ever by way of an alternate stream available in the US and Canada. The NHL and PXP, which is in Canada, have created the NHL in American Sign Language, which will be shown on ESPN Plus and the Canadian version known as Sportsnet for every game in this series between the Panthers and the Oilers that begins tonight. This will be the first immersive viewing experience for the deaf community by a pro sports league, that according to the NHL. To me, it's like streaming science, streaming and technology innovation and risk taking all blended together, said John Lasker, the vice president of ESPN Plus. I'm very excited to see what the community thinks of it and comes after it. The telecast for deaf broadcasters, Jason Altman, the coup of PXP, as well as longtime NHL fan Noah Blankship, who was selected from a pool of 50 candidates, providing coverage through the ASL. That's kind of interesting how it's all getting together. How the community is going to be able to enjoy this series. And if I'm able to get ESPN Plus myself, I like to see how this all got come together myself. But this is pretty interesting, guys. Don't you think? Yeah. So what does everybody think of that with the hockey broadcast being in sign language? Anyone else have any thoughts? Sure. Yeah. All right. Um, oh, before I forget, and before we get today is of course the last day of the Triple Crown race, or we call this one Belmont Stake. So, if anybody has any opinions, Let me read down the key first, and then see if there's any opinions to it. Listen carefully. Number one, Brewer seize the day. Number two, resilience. Just a second here. I gotta get rid of a problem. I know what the problem is. All right. Number three, Mystic Dan. Oh, Mystic Dan won the Kentucky Derby. That's right. Number four, the Wine Stewart. Number five, Antiquarian. Number six, Dunwich. Number seven, Protective. Number eight, Honor Marie. Number nine, Sierra Leone. And number 10, kind of interesting name here, Mine. And of course, this is the last of the Triple Crown. Unfortunately, there will be no Triple Crown winner as Mystic Dan lost in the Belmont 2 weeks ago. So, anybody have any favorites here? Okay. All right. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So Arizona, that's 602. Any thoughts on anything right now? Okay. He's back. No, no, we're doing the last race of the Triple Crown. Yeah. If you don't have any opinion, that's fine. Just say I don't have an opinion. That's okay. So it's all right. I know, but if anybody doesn't have any opinion on the race, that's okay. I mean, not everybody follows horse racing, but I only follow it for the Triple Crown race and whatnot. So you know that's all right though. I mean, we can't all be experts on everything, right? Right. Break this. Number two. Number two. Yeah. Oh, by the way, do we have any White Sox fans in the house? Oh, it's a shame because I got some good news for you. For those of you White Sox fans out there, you finally won a game last night. Yes, you finally won a game against the Red Sox. Despite the fact that, well, they're still pathetic and still have the worst record in the league at 16-48. Yuck. The win came by courtesy of Garrett Crochet, one of the two component pitchers alongside Eric Freddie. The lefty pitched through 6 innings, allowed 2 runs, and struck out 10. It was his fourth straight outing, pitching at least 6 innings, and his eighth with at least 5 innings. But I got to tell you, I mean, I have never seen a team this bad, probably since, I think the last time a team this bad was the 62 Mets. And the way they're going, I think they might even break that record. I mean, the White Sox are terrible. Yeah, has beens. You mean right? Yeah, you can't have that. Right. That's the problem. Mets fans, I got some bad news for you. As uh, one of your pitchers, Cody Singing, is not going to be back till after the All Star break, according to manager Carlos Mendoza. That's a fair way to respond to a question in regards to his rehab time. Mets were playing the Phillies for a 2-game series in London, which is why they didn't play last night. Kind of unusual for a Friday. Senga has been sidelined with a capsule in his right shoulder, but has begun long tossing. Mendoza says he hopes to have Senga throwing next week, but don't expect him to line until after the All Star break. Last year, he had a pretty good year, though, 12-7, despite the fact the Mets were drowning. He had a 2.97 ERA, 29 appearances, and made the All Star team last year since coming from Japan. He did have a productive year, though. He did have a productive year last year with 202 batters. He struck out in 166 innings and finished his runner-up for Rookie of the Year, despite the fact the Mets were just, a sinking ship. But this is bad news for the Mets. I mean, they're still about 7 games below 500, even though they're on a good winning streak right now. But you know, they're not being what they thought they were going to be. They thought they were going to have a better year this year, but so far it's anything but. I mean, we're in June 7th now, and like I said last week, this is when you start to separate, from the pack, pretty much. If you fall behind like about 10 to 12 games by now, chances are you're not going to catch up. And, you really got to stay within close distance because once you get past the All Star game, they're really going to start concentrating on, working towards the postseason. And the way, well, you can forget the White Sox. I mean, they're done. Forget it. But you got to be careful with how the Mets are right now. And the Yankees are on a hot streak now. They're they're 5.5, 3.5 games above the Orioles. Red Sox are looking decent, but still a far cry from where they want to be. The Mets right now, 9 games below 500. So you really got to be careful here because once you get past July, they're really going to start thinking about postseason rosters and whatnot. Right now, if the playoffs were to start today, the Mets wouldn't have a chance. And White Sox, your season was over, I think, the second week of the season. Ooh boy. Yeah. All right. So you gotta be aware of all the injuries, guys, because it can cost you at the end. And Blue Jays starter Alex Mahan is out for the season as he's going to undergo reconstructive right elbow surgery. Ugh. That decision came when he was examined by Dr. Keith Mester, who will perform the operation on June 17th. That's next week. Manager John Schneider said it was unclear what exactly would be done. Would it be a ligament replacement or a procedure to place an internal brace on the elbow joint, or the dreaded Tommy John surgery, which means you're really out? Yeah. In the type of situation, you sort of prepare the worst and hope for the best, said Schneider. In the conversations they have with us and Tracy, we knew it was a possibility. He has not pitched since May 30th with a sprained pitching elbow. He was 1 for 2 with a 3.7 ERA in 5 starts and 24 innings. So, not good news for Blue Jays, who are really on the downside of the American League East. Any thoughts on that? And what's next for the Blue Jays? Any thoughts? Yeah. Right. Murders, bro. No. All right. Steve, you anything in the WWE UFC wrestling department? Right. Yeah. Diane trivia. Finland. Finland. Well, dream comes true. Gordie Howe. Rashad. The Rocket. Montreal. Montreal. How about Bill? I forgot about him. I've heard of him, but I'm not too familiar with him. All right. I'm going to say Anchorage. Okay. Well, I'm always thinking back to the origins, so I thought maybe Anchorage was going to be it, but okay, stay true to it. Okay, fine. Uh, Anything else, Di? Tennis, anyone? I got some for you. At the French Open, the women's final, Inga Swiatek won her third straight title and her fourth in the last 5 years by being Italian Jasmine Poloni in straight sets 6-2, 6-1. Oh, great. Swiatek fell behind early in the first set before taking the next 10 games to win the opening set and went up 5-0 in the second set and won in straight sets 6-2, 6-1, much to my dismay. Her winning streak at Roland Garros is now at 21 matches and is now 31-2 overall. She is the first woman to win 3 straight French Open titles since Justine Heron from 2005 to 2007. Oh, yeah, I remember that. She also won the French Open in 2020 that year and the U.S. Open in 2022. Poloni has never gone past the second round of a major tournament until this year's Australian Open. But thanks to this stunning performance, she will be ranked 7th when the next WTA rankings came out when they be released. I think that's next week. I'm having a little trouble with finding the men's tournament scores. So if anybody comes across that, would you let me know? Yeah, I had trouble with the men's. Oh yeah, but he's out. He left with an injury on Wednesday, and his number one ranking is now finished. Yeah, well, when he played his last match, it wasn't open until about 3 a.m. in the morning, and it kind of ruined everything with his sleep, his rhythm, his recovery, and everything. Like, yeah, forget. So yeah, so he had a meniscus on his right knee. And, yeah, so he's out, and Casper Rund will take that spot. Casper, the friendly ghost. Oh boy, yeah, but I didn't quite get who's going to be competing against, so I gotta find that out somehow. They did not give me the results at press time. Thanks a lot. Yeah, but the final match will be tomorrow, bright and early. And the Joker was visibly frustrated with how slippery the surface was on the court, and as we swept more frequently, but that was a no-go. He started to feel pain and asked for treatment and the medical timeout and tried to take care of it. It did disrupt me in play, the Joker said on Monday evening for more than 2 sets. I didn't want to stay very long. Every time he would make sudden drops or changes, I would not be feeling comfortable about doing the running. Oh boy, this was in Monday's match. I'm not sure. Yeah, this was when the max dose kicked in. I heard from the doctor about 30 to 45 minutes, which about the time of the end of the fourth set, when things started to improve, I started feeling less limited in the movement. Dvorak did win the match. However, he felt concerned with the damage did to his knee in the long term. So at that point, he decided no. The French Open now done. He now set his sight on Wimbledon starting next month, and then the Summer Olympics 3 weeks after that. I told you it'd be a busy summer in the sports world, guys, and this is proof. I told you. Yes, yes, yes. But I like it that way. Oh, there was something I wanted to mention last week. Of course, that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are supposed to have a bout next month in Dallas. Well, there's still going to be a bout, but unfortunately, it has been delayed until November. November. November 16th. Let me just post up the article here because I read this yesterday. What do we have to wait all the way to November though? Now, what happened was that he suffered a medical condition coming back from a flight from I think Los Angeles, and it turned out that he had an ulcer. So Mike Tyson. Don't forget that he is 57 years old now, and that's not really fighting age. Yes, he's going to look at too. All right, so the fight will now be rescheduled for November 15th, a Friday, no less. Well, given the yeah, well, of course, Saturday and Sunday is college football in that area, so of course, the fight will take place at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Arlington, rather, because the stadium will need to prepare for a November 18th game against the Battle of Texas with the Cowboys and the Houston Texans. The fight was to be held next month, but was postponed after Tyson suffered a health scare on a flight that was later identified as an ulcer flare up. While Tyson posted on the website X, aka Twitter, that he was 100%, he was advised in a follow up consultation to do minimal light training for the next few weeks. The fight will be streamed on Netflix. Tyson, in his career, won 50 professional fights, 44 by knockout, and was the youngest fighter to win the heavyweight division at 20 in 1986. I remember that. I think you might remember that too, right, Steve? Yeah, I remember that on HBO. His last fight was against Roy Jones Jr. in November 2020, but that was to a draw. But that was exhibition anyway, so yeah. Paul, Paul was 9-1 his last 10 professional fights, 6 by knockout. His most recent fight was a TKO against Ryan Bullard back in March. He also recorded a first round knockout against Andre August in December. Or was it Andre December and August? I can't remember. Okay, never mind. That was a joke. That was a joke. All right. The Tyson Paul fight had been declared official by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. The fight will consist of 8 2-minute rounds, and 14-ounce gloves will be used by both fighters. I still say this fight shouldn't even go on in the first place. Thank you very much. I mean, come on, Tyson's a dinosaur, to be honest with you. I don't know how he's going to stand up to Jake to Paul anyway. He's still a good young fighter, and I really don't see how he's going to last. I don't see how Tyson's going to last 8 rounds. I don't see he's going to last even 4 rounds. Yes. No. You really think he's a fair chance? Yeah, that was a joke. Well, I mean, okay, well, at least I'll give you one thing. I'll give you one thing though, Alex. Hold on, let me finish. I'll give you that, Alex, because most players, like 50 years old, whatnot, they're in terrible shape and they got lots of brain damage and whatnot. So Tyson is still in great condition for his age and fighting. Yeah, I mean, by the time Ali was 50, he was already brain damaged and everything. So yeah, at least you gotta give some credit to Tyson. I think he's still making a fool of himself for doing it, but hey, he wants to get whipped. Be my guest. And just remember, Steve, one thing. Just remember one thing, Steve. 57 in human years is 125 in boxing years. Okay, but you're not a professional fighter. Yeah, but let's put it this way, Steve. Steve, okay, but Steve, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. All right, but still, you know, maybe 57 in human years. Yes. Okay, but 60 in boxing. but 60 in human years is like about 130 in boxing years. So I look at it that way. Oh boy. All right, moving on. All right, I got some women's sports news. I don't get a chance to do a lot of that, but I found some interesting articles this week. So here we go. All right, with the Olympics next month in Paris, Caitlin Clark is not going to be part of the U.S. women's basketball team. Now, I know you're thinking, what? Now hold on, guys. Here's the story here. Clark has international experience with USA basketball on a younger level, but she was not able to make training camp in Cleveland after she was invited since Iowa was involved in the Final Four. So factor in that, of course. Clark finished her career as the all-time division scorer in Division One. Clark, who is now with the Indiana Fever and America's Darling, has drawn millions of fans to women's college basketball and the WNBA as well, who are having their best season ever. And while Clark won't be going to Paris, the U.S. squad is looking to take five-time gold medalist and one of my favorite players, Diana Taurasi, for a possible sixth gold medal at the age of 42. She'll be joined by her Mercury teammate, Brittany Griner. This will be Griner's first time. That's right. Now, hold on, Dave. There's more. There's more. This is Griner's first time playing in international basketball competition since she was detained from a Russian prison back in 2022. She will now only play abroad for Team USA. Smart move. Joining that duo will be AJ Wilson, WNBA, Napsia Collier, Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, which was the Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young on the veteran squad. First timers, New York Liberty Sabrina Iskanu, is it Aaliyah Thomas and Kayla Cooper will join the squad as well. The U.S. women team is now will go for their sixth straight gold medal as they have won every Olympic competition since the 1996 games in Atlanta. All right, guys. So what do you think? Do you think the USA can make it six in a row? I mean, they do have a pretty good solid lineup, even though without Caitlin. I mean, I think if they would have had her, they would have been, breezing through the competition. But I understand why she will be able to compete. But I think when you have, like Taurasi, who was a dynamite player, Reiner and all right is good, and a lot of these other players, what do you think? How do you think it stacks up for the Summer Games, which is going to be about 6 weeks from now? Wow. Oh, I know, I know. What do you make of that incident that she had though with another player and her own teammate? When she got whacked about a week and a half ago. I mean, really. And first of all, why would you let your own teammate? I mean, it's one thing if your opponents do that and trash you and everything, but your own teammate, that is not showing sportsmanship at all. I think the Fever should be ashamed for doing the case. I know, but you shouldn't be jealous. Yeah, it is. They do. That's their job. Yeah. 602. I haven't heard a lot from you. Can you say anything? I live in Arizona. Maybe not. Yeah. Well, don't forget she was going to qualify because she was with Iowa on the Final Four run, so she couldn't. It was too late. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I get it. But still, I mean, the way she's being treated by her own teammates, that is not acceptable. I'm sorry. I think she's got a point. And that game on Monday against the Liberty, she only scored 3 points. She had her worst outing of that game against my Liberty. I mean, I like I mean, I love Caitlin. Yes, she did. I don't know how much, but she got fined. Now, look, I love Caitlin, but I love my Liberty more. And we have their own Dynamite player, Sabrina. So, I mean, as much as I love Caitlin watching playing, but I gotta go my Liberty. Sorry. Yes. Right. Oh yeah, yeah. Right. Yes, yes. All right. So yeah. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. I gotta move on. I gotta move on. All right. So, um, all right. Well, I know we normally don't discuss this, but this is a big event for our soccer fans as we now enter next week Euro Cup, or as I call it, the halfway point of the World Cup. So I'm gonna run down the groups here and see who you like in the groups. They gotta go from A to F. All right. Okay. So listen carefully. I'll tell you the team names, group by group, and you tell me who is gonna come out on top of this and make it the next round. Okay. Group A: Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland. Steve, go. Dana, Miriam, Diane, Alex, Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland. Arizona, are you there? Probably not. All right. I gotta go with the powerhouse. I gotta go with Germany on this one. Okay, Group B, the group I'm interested in. All right, this should be good. Spain, Croatia, Italia, Albania. Steve, Spain, Dana, Diane. Hmm, okay, so with Spain. Well, you have a point there. They are a powerhouse. I'll give you that. Alex, Miriam, I'm going with Italy. I'm going with Italy, and that's why I'm sticking to it. All right, Group C, Slovenia, Denmark, Siberia, England. Steve, hmm. Dana, Miriam, you mean England? It'd be interesting if Cleveland would do it. Diane, Alex, gonna go across the pond. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say this. I don't think there's gonna be anything rotten in Denmark. Oh dear. Okay, next. Yes, I thought that joke myself, folks. Yes. Okay, Group D, Portland, the Dutch, aka the Netherlands, uh, Austria, and France. Steve, all right. Dana, Alex, right. Dana, Diane, Miriam, me. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna go Poland. Okay, moving on. Group E. Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, Ukraine. Steve, Romania. Dana, Diane, Alex, Miriam. I'm gonna go Ukraine too. Yes, for I'm not gonna say why, but some of you who know why. And Group F, Turkey, Georgia, not the state Georgia, but the country of Georgia, Portugal, and Chechnya. Steve, I said Turkey, the country of Georgia, or the Republic of Portugal, and Chechnya. Dan, Alex, Diane, Miriam, Portugal. It is okay. Now for the schedule, which is going to be very interesting, and I'm going to like this. The first match begins on Friday, thank goodness, and it's going to be Germany versus Scotland. A lot of these games are going to be on Fox, guys, which makes it even interesting. And oh, okay, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. No, this is Europe, Europe only. Actually, we are in a tournament called the Copa Cup, but I'll discuss that next week because we don't start to layer them up with that. So stay tuned for that one next week's show, okay? First match for us for Italy is against Albania next Saturday at 3 o'clock. Ugh, great, right in the middle of the show. Thanks a lot, guys. You did me again. Ugh, I hate when they do this. But I know it's a 6 hour time difference. So, ugh. All right. So for Italy, it'll be Albania on the 15th. What's the next match? What's the next match? June 20th at 3 o'clock on Fox. I like these. I like these afternoon starts though. June 20th at 3 o'clock, and finally, it's going to be June 24th against Croatia. That is, of course, the preliminary rounds. Then they go into the round of 16 later on, and the final match will be July 20th. And I think we'll still be okay. The Sweet 16 round begins on June 29th. Yeah, Group 2A versus 2B, or not to be 1A versus 2C, et cetera, et cetera. And the quarterfinals begin on July 5th, with the semifinals beginning on July 9th and 10th, and the final July 14th. Well, you got to get it done before the Olympics. I mean, come on. Go back. July 23rd, with the first event the 23rd, but the opening ceremony is the 26th. But I always count before they start. I wonder why they do that anyway. I don't know why. They always have events before the actual competition starts. Don't look at me though. I'm not the committee. Okay. All right. So the Yankees had a little bit of a setback, but not too much. As Juan Soto had inflammation on his left forearm, but it's nothing more serious than that. No structural damage. To you Yankee haters out there, I'm sorry. Manager Aaron Boone said Soto had testing done on his left elbow and will avoid the injured list. He was not in the lineup last night, but came off the bench, so he did play. Uh, Styles left Thursday's win over the Twins during a near 1 hour delay of rain, which was a mess on Thursday night, and what the Yankees called forearm tightness. Styles did reach base 3 times before being removed. He's been dealing with the issue for quite a while now, for about a week, but it didn't affect him when he threw a ball or swung the bat. Boone said Sada will not need an injection, just medicine. Boone did not say Sada will not know will be symptom free before returning to play, although the discomfort was. Oh, let me read that again. Did not know if Sato would wait until he was symptom free or return to the lineup or play through the discomfort. He said Sato was playing at DH, and something that has not done yet is possible. So he was in the lineup and didn't look all that bad. By the way, Di, if you're wondering, the Yankees lost 2-1 in 11 innings last night. All right, now for the shocking one of the week. This was bad. I don't know if anybody heard this on Thursday, but now you guys are familiar with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Of course. Yeah. Well, their wide receiver had an emergency on Thursday. Wide receiver B.J. Thompson. I said B.J. Thompson, not B.J. Thomas. Um, was awake after being rushed to the hospital for a medical emergency on Thursday. Thompson was taken to an area hospital on Thursday after he suffered a cardiac arrest after suffering a seizure. Oof. His agent, yeah, his agent Chris Ray had told ESPN that doctors told Jeremy Fowler of ESPN the doctors were optimistic about Thompson's recovery prior to his waking up. So Thursday just had an emergency, came out of nowhere, and didn't know what his condition was at the time. But thankfully, that he is okay now. But that is very scary going to a cardiac arrest at that. I mean, we've seen it happen before. If you remember what happened with the Buffalo Bills back in that. Say it again, Die. Yes, and we didn't want to see another repeat of that. Thankfully, though, he is okay, and maybe he can get back to normal. But still, that is something very scary to go through. So, okay, so to give you the full story here, here's what happened. All right, she's okay. So he was in stable condition when he had the seizure, then went to cardiac arrest. Then was taken to the hospital by an ambulance from the team's facility on Thursday morning. The practice was called off, obviously, instead of holding a usual practice. The OTA did go on schedule as of from yesterday, and he was drafted in the fifth round of the 2023 season from Stephen F. Austin. Not a very well known school, but but it has produced some good players. But I'm just glad, all right, because that is a very scary you know thing to go through. Ugh. And for you Yankee fans out there, and you Yankee haters out there, Garrett Cole looks to be coming back, but he may have two more rehab starts, putting the current Cy Young winner, the AL Cy Young winner, on track to return by mid to late June, or maybe even sooner than that. Cole said he felt fine during his first rehab outing on a 45 pitch effort, for three scoreless innings last Tuesday at Double A Somerset. That's a place where Diane and I are very familiar with, right, Di? Yes. Remember, guys, for those of you who don't know, Diane and I actually know each other. At least for a few more, you say, Aaron Boone. I don't honestly know. Could be three. Cole said, you know. Cole and Boone were not ready to commit on Cole's next outing. If Cole remained on a normal 4 days rest, he could start by Sunday. Then again, on June 14th, making as early as possible start at home against the Orioles. Cole has only pitched in one spring training game since March 1st after he was diagnosed with nerve inflammation and was told to rest. Ugh. A usual progression says to increase his pitch count by 10 or 15 per outing. Third minor league start would mean a higher pitch limit for Cole to return to the majors. Okay. So what looked like to be was going to be, a long-term injury. Doesn't seem to be that way, and he's going to be fine. He's going to be back, and the Yankees will dominate the AL East. I hope. Any of you Yankee haters out there want to comment? Hmm. James Cagney. Okay. All right. All right. Now to Kyler Murray's situation. 9 practices into the OTAs. Sounds like Will Fortune. Toronto's quarterback Kyler Murray says he's already seeing a difference in the second year of the new system. According to Murray, that has led him to see what's ahead for the team that went 4-13 a year ago, but 3-4 after return in Week 10 from ACL injury. I don't put any limitations on him. What we can do, Murray said on Wednesday in his first public remarks in the offseason. Murray missed last offseason, which he rehabbed his injury and learned new schemes and a new front office. My being out there in the system another year, you can tell the difference. Either he said, everyone's playing faster and more comfortable. The rookies had last season are a greater group. It allowed me to play faster because I've been in a lot of meaningful reps last season, and then the rookies were just a great group as well. Unlike last season, we watched the practice from the sideline while we worked with the trainer and stood alongside quarterbacks coach Israel Woodfork is fully embodied in practice and meetings. This has given him a chance to immerse himself in a scheme that only started practicing 3 weeks before his first game of last season. Murray said he's been trying to build momentum around his team, and he feels that we have done that. Murray said he already feels a level of excitement from teammates. Anybody else for that? What do we think of Murray with that now? That was Thursday, actually, Betty. Wednesday. Any thoughts on Murray with how he's doing? Yeah, I think he will. Yes, 3 years. Unless you play the Hall of Fame game, of course. Yes. Yeah. But he looks pretty confident, though. He looks pretty confident. I mean, you gotta give him that. So, I think he's gonna be fine. Yeah, quite a difference from a few weeks ago. Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. I found something interesting here, a kind of bit of wacky. I think this might be a wacky one here. Dodgers third baseman Kyrie Ken Hernandez made an error in the midst of a live television interview Friday during against the Yankee game. He had a microphone earpiece in his left ear as he spoke with Wayne Rosando, former pitcher Dontrell Willis on Apple TV's telecast in the second inning. Talking about Hernandez's decision to wear cleats and the atmosphere in Yankee Stadium, there was one out and no one on a 1-2 count on Gilbert Torres. Willis asked, "You guys are a very close knit ball club. Where does that come from?" Torres grounded to third, prompting Willis to say, "After this play." The ball hit Hernandez on his bare right hand and ricocheted off his groin. Yeah. By the time the third baseman recovered and threw to first, Torres crossed the bag. After the game, whether the interview impacted him on the play, Hernandez replied, "Nah, maybe a little bit. I think the ball eat me up. It had a weird hop." Well, sometimes you get those. Hernandez said he wouldn't reconsider whether to do the in-game interviews in the future. No, because we're getting paid, he said. I like money, of course. The collective bargaining agreement calls for a player to receive a $10,000 two-way microphones for at least one inning of a regular season game. The amount rises to $15,000 in the postseason. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts said he wasn't aware Hernandez was being interviewed while in the field. Well, why not? Big dope. You weren't aware, and you call yourself a coach or a manager, rather. Hang on a second. I think I got a problem. Yeah. Okay. So to continue on. All right. About 1 minute after the error, following ball one to DJ Lee Matthew on the pitch clock violation by Yamamoto, Hernandez said on the telecast, "Was that the previous question before I made the error?" Oh no. Responded Willis, "I don't want to ask it again because I don't want to boot the ball again. To be honest with you, I will take an era for you big dog. Torres reached on third on Trent Grisham's two-out single, but was stranded when Jose Trevino struck out. Hernandez then reached on the air in the third by Torres when the second baseman dropped his pop-up to short to right field. You dropped a pop-up? Oh, brother. That reminds me of the game in 2009. He dropped the ball. Oh, my goodness. And the Yankees won. Oh, no. But the Dodgers off the field by – well, that was in a game, Diane. Actually, it was after I was watching the Stanley Cup game, and it looked like that the Yankees were sure to lose against the Mets, but one of the Met players dropped the ball on a pop-up at shallow left, and like, oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. So it happened again, but the Dodger was picked up by Cody Protect. Kind of a weird story, don't you think, guys? That's kind of weird. Any thoughts on that? Very strange. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get to that right now. I'm gonna get to that right now. Yes, the UFL playoffs are this week. The championship game is next week. I know 95% of the population really doesn't really care, but hey, it's sports, it's playoffs. I cover it, regardless of what it is. So here we go. In the UFL first round, by the way, the second game is tomorrow, just in case you're all wondering. Oh, let me do it this. Let me do it this way. Yeah. All right, UFL. So right now we're gonna go to that. Hold on, I'm gonna check the score here to see if this game is still going on anyway, because the game started. All right, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't spoil the ending, buddy. Don't spoil the ending. All right, so first game we have Michigan um, against Birmingham. So first up, Steve, who do you have? Dana. No, I said Michigan versus Birmingham. Diane. Alex. All right, that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna go with no, I gotta go Michigan for personal reasons. Sorry. Diane knows. I know. No, but Michigan is a decent team, I think. So right. Yes. Yeah. I'm going the wrong direction. Okay. All right. So for this game here, oh, they don't have June 8th. All right, just a second here. So we have that the Panthers. Okay, the Panthers and the Stallions. So I'll go with the Panthers. So tomorrow's game, find that. Or is that game on? That game was on Fox, right? Yes, yes, it is. Yeah. Okay. St. Louis and San Antonio. Steve, who do you got? Dana. Okay, okay. Dana, Alex, Diane. Yeah, I think I'm making an ass. I'm going to go with St. Louis here. That goes on Fox, and yeah, that's tomorrow night. Okay. Oh, you're still here, Miriam? Okay, go ahead, Miriam. Go ahead. All right, make it unanimous. All right. Oh, tie game. 18-18. Sloppy game. Hey, hurry up before the play. Hurry up before the hockey game starts. Shoo. Yeah, boy. 8 o'clock. Yeah. So next week we'll have the final match. What how's it going to turn out? The first of the. You mean the fifth major, the Memorial? Let's go to that right now. Then, all right. Since you brought it up, let's do it. So right now we're gonna check that. Ooh, you want a boring game here? I got a boring game for you. Twins and Pirates, nothing through the seventh. Boring. Sorry. Oh wait. I want college baseball because we're in the playoffs now. So let's take care of this. College baseball because we're in the playoffs now. We're in the super regionals. So right now, Virginia is leading Kansas State 5-4 in the bottom of the eighth. Coming up later tonight, we have Oregon State, Kentucky. Anybody have any thoughts on that game? Nothing. All right. Um, then we have North Carolina against West Virginia. Texas A&M beat Oregon earlier this afternoon. Tennessee. I'm not gonna like this one. Okay. It's a best of three. All right. But Evansville beat Tennessee, which is the number one team in all of college baseball, has the number one ranking overall, and they lost 10-8. So tomorrow is game three, or as I like to call it, sudden death. It would be a shock, though. It'd be a shock if Tennessee loses because they were ranked, and they were the one team for the last month of the season. And to have to go down like this would be a big upset. All right. In what seems like something like a football matchup, Florida beat Clemson 10-7. SEC strikes again in baseball. Okay. No contest here as NC State destroyed Georgia 18-1. Oh boy. Yeah. Um, and that's 1-0 lead for them. I think it's best of three and everything. Yeah, best of three. And well, UConn, you made an effort of it, but you fell short to the Seminoles in 12 innings, 10-8. Oh boy. Yeah. So much for that. Yeah. So we're on the Super Regionals and the College World Series itself. I think begins next week as well. But I always keep tabs of this because it is a playoff, and I always like to keep track on that. Right. So now you want me to go to. You said you wanted to go to the Memorial, right? Yeah, the fifth major, as we call it. Yeah. Funny how it's the fifth major when the U.S. Open is next week. Hmm. Yeah. Well, it is. Scotty is up four. Is up four strokes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think you got something there. You're right. So right now, Scheffler is in the lead, 11 under par, four strokes ahead of Canadian Hardwin. Straka is third. Colin Makara, who is also American, is five strokes back. And Scheffler Alexander Scheffler is seven strokes back. Okay, let's look. All right. So, well, Steve, what are your thoughts on this tournament so far in the Memorial? No, you can't. If you do, you're nuts. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, speaking of Angel, oh, which one was it? Yeah, yeah, yes, right. Yeah, false pretenses. All right, so yeah. All right, so a few more notes here, and then we'll do this week in history, which I forgot about last week. Sorry. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Minnesota for winning the first women's hockey title. Yeah, go figure. Yep, that doesn't make any sense what's at all. Okay, so now you were discussing about Angel Reese. Well, guess what? She was being no angel. She was ejected for receiving two technical fouls after disagreeing with an official in a loss to Liberty on Tuesday. Reese was called for a fifth personal foul with 2.5 minutes left in the fourth, then was called for two technical fouls by the same official, Charles Watson. Reese appeared to have said something to Watson, then quickly waved her hand. I did not get the explanation, said Coach Teresa Witherspoon, a former WNBA great as well, in the post-game news conference. I don't know how this moment happened. Lead official, the lead official told reporters after the game the technical fouls were disrespectfully um, an official will wave your hand in dismissal. Reese finished the game with 13 points and 10 rebounds in 24 minutes. Did not appear at the news conference. Her teammate Maya Mabry was on the court when Reese was ejected and was asked about Reese's exchange with the official. She received two technical fouls. She said something to the officials. Mabry said, "Whoever felt like it was critical was made is more important than the composure versus our younger years in the WNBA. You have to get to know the refs and how they respond to things. No kidding. Lorenzo Ball of the Bulls was attending the game, said he would pay the $400 fine that Breeze was assessed with. First three technical fouls in the season, assessed a $200 fine for each technical. The technical foul resigns an $800 fine and a one-game suspension. Caitlin Clark and Nastasia Cloud have three each this season. Okay, better watch it. Yeah. UConn basketball coach, women's basketball coach, Gino Armida announced on Tuesday that has signed him to a 5-year, $18 million extension. The deal extends through April of 2029. At that point, he'll be 75 years old at the end of the deal. The contract ensures all but ensures that he will finish his coaching career at Almighty UConn. He will remain through an unprecedented period of growth in women's basketball and a dramatic change in the landscape across college sports. Gino has been with UConn since 1985 and has spent 39 seasons. Oh my God, am I that old? Wow. He has led the Huskies to an incredible record of, listen to this, guys, 1,213 wins and 162 losses. And, of course, has made 23 Final Fours and won 11 national titles. But UConn, yeah, UConn's been in a drought, though, since they had not won since 2016. Wow. The program does remain one of the nation's best, having advanced to a Final Four in three of the past four seasons, including this season. Excuse me. The Huskies are expected to compete for a championship next season when anchored by two-time All-American Paige Buchers. I like Paige. I really do. Armenia is a nine-time Associated Press National Coach of the Year and was inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Basketball Hall of Fame, in 2006. I mean, he is just that great of a coach. No wonder why UConn. I mean, I think before, he came to UConn, they weren't much of a team. In fact, I don't really think there was much of women's basketball to be much to be talked about, except maybe Tennessee. Well, Pat Summitt, but other than that, women's basketball wasn't wasn't really on the map much. But with Gino and of course now Caitlin and maybe Paige Buchers and whatnot, they're really taking women's basketball to new heights. So, and with the UConn dominance since 1995, that has really shaped the women's game up quite considerably. Yes. And Caitlin had the worst performance of her career last Sunday as the Liberty dumped in 104 to 68. She was 1 for 10 for the field and 10% and field goal percentage at 10% during her 11. That was the worst in her 11 WNBA games at 139 games at Iowa. The problem with her is that she's a good shooter, a good rebounder, but she has to watch those turnovers. She had another 8 last night. As good as she is, scoring with her signature shot and everything, she really has to watch the turnovers. That's what worries me about her. I mean, I don't think she had that many turnovers in college, but I know she's a rookie still and whatnot. But because that may be one of the reasons why the Fever have not done so well. Because those turnovers can really kill them. So she's got to watch that. Maybe if she cut down on that, maybe the Fever can stay competitive and win some games because they're not doing so great right now. By the way, Steve, what's wrong with your Mystics? You're watching in mistakes. I mean Mystics. Oh, ooh. I'm glad you didn't blow up me when I said Washington mistakes. Oh yeah, yeah. Wow. When you're 0 and 11, Diane, yes. Okay, you can say that again. Yeah. All right, guys, I gotta hurry. I gotta hurry up. Okay, 1966, the AFL and NFL announced the merger. Uh, plans one league with two divisions, AFC and AFC, starting in 1968. Don Drysdale record pitches a record 58 consecutive scoreless inning. Wow. Uh, Rod Lavar wins his second leg of the Grand Slam, beats fellow Australian Ken Roswell in straight sets 6-4, 6-3, 6-4. 1969, Mickey Mantle gives his farewell retirement speech during Mickey Mantle Day at Yankee Stadium. His number 7 is retired in front of a crowd of 60,000 plus. Yeah. Bobby Orr signs a 5-year contract with the Chicago Blackhawks in 1976. 1977, Nolan Ryan dodges his fourth career 19 strikeout game and a 10-inning 2-1 victory over the Blue Jays. 1980, Bjorn Borg of Sweden wins his third straight French title, beating Vitas Gerlias in straight sets 6-4, 6-1, 6-2. I remember Borg. Yep. 1982, Lakers beat Philadelphia 4-2 to win the NBA championship. Thank you. Thank you. Chris Evert beat Martina Navratilova 6-3, 6-7, 7-5 to win her 17th Grand Slam title and 6th French Open singles title. That was my favorite player. No joke. I always like Chrissy. Yeah. And Hank Aaron set a record 4 consecutive home runs. Eddie Matthews, Hank Aaron. Yeah, they said the Brewers set 4 consecutive home runs in a game in 1961. Okay, my page was just going a little bit backwards. Sorry. I hate that. But on that note, I think we got to wrap it up. I mean, I got to get ready for my buddy Rasal, who does an excellent fine show, so check him out. Don't forget, check us out on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in theenhancedsportsshow.com when you get a chance, and you'll hear the show in its entirety. Next week, we'll recap the French Open. We'll cover the Copa Cup as well. and the U.S. Open in golf. So on that note, I want to wish everybody a good week, and we'll see you again next week, same time, same station. On that note, good night, everybody.